views on each other. Now, in the classes, in the continuation classes, we have been discussing about plant tissues. In that class, I have discussed how the tissues are formed. First of all, in the first lesson, we have seen that cells are organized, and in each and every multicellular organism or a unicellular organism, whatever the organism is, it is made up of a cell. So, cell is the basic unit of life. So, cells which is composed of same function and origin, same structure, everything will be united to form tissues. Group of cells which are similar in structure and function will organize to form tissues. Now, plants are composed of different types of tissues and animals are composed of different types of tissues. So, the tissues which are formed in plants are called as plant tissues, and the tissues which are formed in animals are called as animal tissues, which you will be discussing in the third lesson. Right? Now, when you come to plant tissues, now we all understood, Mama, cells will unite to form tissues. Tissues will unite to form organs. Organs will unite to form organ systems. Organ system will unite to form organism. So, for an organism to be formed, the basic unit is what? Cell. Now, group of cells which are similar in structure and function will form tissue. Will form what? Tissue. Now, let us discuss about different types of plant tissues. Now, totally the plant tissues are of 4 types. How many types, ma'am? 4 types. Whole plant body is made up of how many types of tissues? 4 types of tissues. The plant body is composed of how many types of tissues? 4 types of tissues. Now, first type is meristematic tissue. So, please follow the pronunciation to follow your dialogue properly. Understand? So, the first type is what? Meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. Second type is dermal tissue. Second type is dermal tissue. And the third one is ground tissue. The third one is ground tissue. And the fourth one is vascular tissue. Fourth one is vascular tissue. So, how many types of tissues do you have in the plants, ma'am? 4 types. 4 types. First one is what? Meristematic tissue. Second one is dermal tissue. Third type is ground tissue. And the fourth type is vascular tissue. Now, generally in your class, you are studying which class now? 9th class. You have how many subjects? 7 subjects. And for that 7 subjects, you have 7 teachers. Okay? Your English miss will come and teach you English. Your Telugu sir will come and teach you Telugu. Your Hindi miss will come and teach you Hindi. Your maths miss will practice maths. And your PS miss will teach you PS. NS miss will teach you NS. And finally, social miss will teach you social. Like that, division of work is there. Your 9th class is composed of 7 subjects. And every teacher plays a very vital role in teaching their subjects. NS miss cannot teach PS. PS miss cannot teach social. Social miss cannot teach Telugu. So, social miss teach what? Only social. Like that. Here also, every particular tissue. How many types of tissues I said for you? 4 types of tissues. Present in plant. Now let us talk about meristematic tissue. I hope you followed ma. So how many types of tissues are there? 4 types of tissue. First one is meristematic, second one is dermal, third one is ground, and the fourth one is vascular. Now let us talk about meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. If you focus on the board properly, again this meristematic tissue is divided into 3 parts. 3 different tissues are present even in this meristematic tissue. Now you all know that every plant needs to grow. Every plant needs to grow, isn't it? Now if you go and see your LKG photo, okay, if you see your class photo, you will be having a very small knicker. You will be having very small frock, you will be this much. Now when you come to second class, you will grow this much. When you come to fourth class, you will grow this much. Now when you come to 9th and 10th classes, you will be growing up. So there will be growth in your body with the help of growth tissue functioning in your body. Like that, plant also should grow. Plant also should grow. The growth will be done by this tissue called meristematic tissue. The growth of the plant. The growth of the plant. Rapidly dividing cells will be present in the meristematic tissue. All that cells which has the capacity to divide and to increase their number will be thrown into this tissue called meristematic tissue, and this meristematic tissue will help in the growth of the plant. Now, you understood, Tama? So, some one of you will grow like this and also like this. In the lockdown time, everyone is becoming like this. Isn't it? Now, so you have 3 types of tissues here. Again, this meristematic tissue. So, the meristematic tissue's role is what? For the growth of the plant. The growth of the plant will depend upon the meristematic tissue. Now, when you take this apical meristematic tissue, it will increase the length of the plant. The plant will not be dwarf if meristematic tissue is perfect in that plant. Rapidly growing cells, rapidly dividing cells are present in this meristematic tissue. So obviously, wherever meristematic tissue is there, the plant will grow properly. The length will be increased because of this meristematic tissue. Now, again, why this is divided like this means, first of all, the length will be increased by apical meristematic tissue. The first one is what? Apical meristematic tissue. In that it will increase. That means the growth of the plant, the length of the plant will be increased by apical meristematic tissue. Now when you come to lateral meristematic tissue, the girth of the stem, girth means bandagavu. Okay, so the length will be increased by apical. The girth of the stem will be increased by lateral meristematic tissue. Got my point, ma? Length of the plant will be increased by apical meristematic tissue, whereas the girth of the stem, the width of the plant will be increased by lateral meristematic tissue. Lateral meristematic tissue. When you take huge plants like banyan tree, when you take huge plants like acacia, when you take huge plants like neem tree, they are having a very bulky girth of the stem. That is increased because of which tissue? Meristematic tissue. Which tissue, ma? Meristematic tissue. So, apical what it will do? It will increase the length of the plant. Whereas, the lateral meristematic tissue will increase the girth of the plant. Girth of the plant. Now, when you come to the third one called intercalary meristematic tissue. Now, you understood, ma? So, the length will be increased by what? Apical. The girth of the stem will be increased by lateral. Now, here the leaf should grow. On the stem, the leaf should grow. On the stem, the fruit should come. On the stem, the flower should come. So, the extra branches should come. From the main stem, branches should come, flowers should come, leaves should come, fruit should come. That growth will be under the control of intercalary meristematic tissue. So, whole growth of the plant is over now. You understood, right? So, first one is length is increased by apical. Girth of the stem, the width of the stem, that is called girth. Okay, so the width of the stem will be increased by lateral meristematic meristematic tissue. And the next one is the growth of the flower on the stem, the growth of leaf on the stem, the growth of branches, the growth of fruits, whatever it is, will be increased by intercalary meristematic tissue. Intercalary meristematic tissue. So this is all about the meristematic tissue. Now coming to the second one called dermal tissue. What is this one? Dermal tissue. The cover of the plant, the protection of the plant. Now this will increase the length. The protection of the plant will be done by dermal tissue. The growth will be done by meristematic tissue. The protection of the stem, the protection of the plant will be done by dermal tissue. Dermal tissue. So if you observe some huge plants, it will have bark on it. Isn't it? A bark. Everything will be formed by what you know? Dermal tissue. So it will protect the layers of the plant. So if it is protecting the outermost part, it is called epidermis. So the protection means there will be 3 layers in the plant. Outermost is, so these 3 layers are what? It is protecting the plant. It is protecting the plant. The outermost layer which is protecting like a bark is called as epidermis. Is called as epidermis. The middle one is called as mesodermis, and the innermost layer is called as endodermis. What is the plant doing with this means plant is getting protected. Plant is getting protected. It is protecting it. It is saving the plant from injuries, from physical injuries. Everything will be done by dermal tissue. Everything will be done by what? Dermal tissue. So, as meristematic tissue is having 3 types, this dermal tissue is also having 3 types. So, outermost protection by epidermis, middle layer is mesodermis, endodermis is the innermost layer. So, this layers what it will do is, it will protect the plant, giving protection for the plant. And not only that, if any injuries occur also, it will be cured. It will be cured by what you know? By this dermal tissue. By this dermal tissue. And next one is ground tissue. The bulkiest part of the plant will be formed by ground tissue. Almost the internal part of the plant will be formed by ground tissue. What tissue ma? Ground tissue. First one is parenchyma. Second one is collenchyma. Third one is sclerenchyma. First one is what? Parenchyma. Second one is what? Collenchyma. Third one is sclerenchyma. What it is doing is, it is also, so first of all when you take parenchyma, chlorenchyma, chloro means you have studied in your first lesson that plant cells are composed with a special plastic called chloroplast. So, if a cell is bearing chlorenchyma, it is helpful for what? For the preparation of food. So, parenchyma, what it is doing is, it is helping the plant for the preparation of the food material. For the preparation of food material. And it will have parenchyma. That means few plants which are living as aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means living in water. In cells, the intercellular space should be filled with what? Air, so that they don't have respiratory problem. Okay. Now, if the plant is living on the land, it will have stomata. Through that stomata, air will enter into the plant for the process of respiration. But for the aquatic plants which are living in the water, what they will do is they are insulated with what? What? Air. That is called parenchyma. And it will have storage tissue also. That storage tissue, what it will do, you know? That storage tissue will store food material. Will store what? Food material. So, this all 3 cells are, one of them is useful for the preparation of food. One of them is useful for the process of respiration. And the other one will be useful for the process of storing the food material.